Hello, Mahima here from Boas Now Academy. I hope you all are doing good. Today we will study the chapter 5, which is life processes. So, how life processes, we'll deeply study about this topic here. How do we tell the difference between that we are alive, what is not alive, if we see the dog running or the cow chewing the cud or a man shouting loudly on the street? We know that these are the living things. Okay, what if the dog or the cow of the man were asleep? We would think that they were alive, but how do we know that? We see them breathing, and also we know that they are alive. So in short, we know the difference between like how people are reacting, if they are alive or not, how they are responding. So these all things will read it about here only, like about all the things which is related to the living organism. Also, what about the plants? How do we know that they're alive? We see them green. Some of us will say that yes. What about the plants? They have the leaves of colors other than green. They grow with the time, so we know that they are alive. So we'll say that, in other words, we tend to think some of the sort of movement. Movement is there. It means are either growth or related or not to the common evidence for being alive. So, but the plant that are not visibly growing and is still alive, and the some animals can breathe without visible movement even. Okay, so using the visible movement and the defining characteristics of the life is not enough. Movements is over the small scale will be invisible to the naked eye, and the movement of the molecule, for example, is this visible that the molecular movement is necessary for life? So if we ask this question to the professional any biologist, they will say that yes, in fact, the viruses do not show their any molecular movement. If them until they infect some cell and that are partly without, they are controversial about what they are truly alive or not. So why are the molecular movements needed for the life? And we have seen it in the earlier classes as well, that the living organisms are the well organized structure. They can have a tissue have a cell have a smaller components in them, and so on. So they have ensured the well-organized structure. Because of the effect of environment, this organized order, the nature of a living structure, is a very likely to keep breaking down over the time. If order breaks down, the organism will no longer be alive. So living creatures must be keep repairing and maintaining their structures. Since all the structures are made up of molecules, they must move molecules around them. What the maintenance process of the living organism? So these all things we'll study here, like how the process takes place and all. Firstly, what are life process? So the maintenance function of a living organisms must go on when they are not doing anything particular. Even when we are just sitting in the class, even we are just asleep, this maintenance job has go on, and the process in which together perform the maintenance job is only the life process. Also, since the maintenance process are need to be the prevent damage, breakdown, energies need for that. Okay, obviously. So this energy comes from the outside of the body or an individual organism. So there must be a process to transfer the source of energy from outside of the body of the organisms that we called as a food, and to the inside, and the process we commonly called a nutrition. If the body size of the organism is to grow, then additionally the additional raw material will be needed from the inside. So since life on the earth depends on the carbon based molecule, most of these food resources are a carbon based. Depending on the complexity of carbon sources, different organisms can be used a different kind of nutrition process. In short, what is the thing? See, if you want to do anything, if you want to sit, if you want to lie down, anything, for all the movements we need some kind of energy. Internally we need energy, but how we can gain it extra from external source? So it will be food. From the food we'll get some kind of nutrition. So this is only the process, this is only the structure. So the outside source of energy could be a quite varied, and since the environment is not under the control of individual organism, these sources of the energy therefore need to be breakdown or built up in the body and must be finally converted to a uniform source of energy. And that can be the various molecular movements needed for maintaining the living structure, as well as the kind of molecules body needs to grow. For this part of series chemical reaction is common chemical means break down the molecule. For this, many organisms use oxygen source and outside from the body, and the process of acquiring the oxygen from the outside of the body, and it uses the process to break down the food structure, cellular needs, what we call as respiration. We are just inhaling the food, okay. but it's not that much easy just to inhale the food. After that, there is some process which takes place. So for that, we need some kind of external source as well. So just you can see oxygen is there outside from the body and uses it to process the breakdown of the food and the source for the cellular needs. And this process is called a respiration process. In case in the case, single-celled organism is no specific organs for the taking food. Exchange of the gases or the removal of waste may be a need because of the entire surface organism is in the contact with the environment. But what happens when the body of the size organism increases? Body design becomes more complex. So, firstly, we talk about the single cell. Now, the multicellular organisms at the all the cells may not be direct contact with the surrounding environment. So thus the simple diffusion will not meet the requirement of all the cells. So we have seen previously that the multicellular organism, various body parts have a specialized in the function of they perform. We all are familiar with our ideas of the specialized tissue with their organisms in the body of the organism. It is therefore not surprising that the uptake of a food and the oxygen will also be the function of a specialized tissue. However, this was a problem since the food and the oxygen are now taken up to the one place of the body organism while all the part of the body need them. So this situation create a need of a transportation system for carrying the food and oxygen from the one place to another. So this is the process we have a study about the respiration, how food we are inhaling, then how oxygen is just taking from one place to another and how the process is happening. Okay. So while the chemical reaction use the carbon source oxygen from the energy generation they create by the product, and they are not only useless for the cells of the body but could be even harmful, and these based by the products and therefore needed to be removed from the body and discarded outside by the process which is known as exertion. The process in which we are inhaling and the process, this was the respiration, but here if you can see the waste products therefore needed to be removed from the body and discarded outside by the process from which the waste products are simply we are removing or discarding it. This process is known as exertion. And again, if the basic rules of the body design in a multicellular organisms are followed to be the specified tissue and exertion will be developed, which means the transportation system will be need to the transport way and exerted you. So this was all about the exertion and the respiration. Now we have started the word nutrition. So what exactly it is? How do the living things get their food? So we'll read about it. Firstly, the nutrition. When we walk on or ride a bicycle, okay, we are using up the energy. Even when we are not doing any apparent activity, energy is needed to maintain the state or a order in our body. We also need a material from the outside in order to grow, develop, synthesize a protein and other substance need in the body. And this source of the energy material is food. But we get only the food is the thing from which we get any kind of it's source of energy for us. So how do the living things get their food? So the general requirement for the energy and the material is common in all organisms, but it is fulfilled in the different ways. Some organism uses simple food material obtained from inorganic source in the form of carbon dioxide and the water. And these organisms, the autotrophs, include green plants, some bacteria. Other organisms utilize the complex substance have big. Firstly, if complex substance is there, then it will break down into the simpler ones before they can use to upkeep the growth of the body. To achieve the organism use a biocatalyst which is called enzymes, and thus the heterotroph survival depends directly or indirectly on the autotrophs. Heterotrophic organisms include animals and fungi. Now, autotrophic nutrition. See, carbon and energy are the requirement in the autotrophic organisms and are fulfilled with the photosynthesis. It is the process by which autotroph takes the substance from the outside and convert them in the storage to form energy. So this material is taken in the form of carbon dioxide and the water which convert into the carbohydrate in the presence of sunlight and the chlorophyll. So carbohydrate are utilized for providing the energy to the plant. Here we were simply talking about the plant, how they are taking energy from the sunlight and then they're storing like this. Okay, so we'll study how this takes place in this section only with the help of equation. The carbohydrate which are not immediately as stored in the form of starch, which serves the internal energy and reserve us with the required plant. Somewhat similar situation as seen where the sum of the energy derived from the food and we eat the stored body in the form of glycogen. So from the help of this equation, we can study like 6 CO2, okay, carbon dioxide and the water molecules in the presence of chlorophyll and the sunlight. We are getting this glucose as a product C6H12O6 along with the oxygen and the hydrogen. So oxygen and water. So let us now see what actually happens the during process of photosynthesis. Okay. Firstly, absorption of light by the chlorophyll. In the plant, chlorophyll is present and they are simply absorbing the light. Second is the conversion of light energy to the chemical energy and splitting over the water molecules in hydrogen and oxygen. Third is reduction of carbon dioxide to the carbohydrate. So plant is the only way where the carbon dioxide is being reducted. So that's why this is the process which takes place. Now these steps need to be taken on the after one after the other immediately. For example, desert plant take a carbon dioxide, okay, at a night and prepare an intermediate which is acted upon the energy absorbed by the chlorophyll during the day. So let us see how each of the component above reaction are necessary for the photosynthesis. So if we carefully observe the cross section of the leaf after the microscope, you will notice that the some cells contain the green dots, and these green dots are called as cell organelles and called a chloroplast, which contain the chlorophyll. So this is under microscope observation. See, the plant is there. This part is lamina, this part is vein, and this is midrib, polum on xylem. So the cross section of leaf when we do it. So these are the green things. Okay, the green points, which is known as chloroplast. There is air spaces as well. The guard cell is being present. So this is under microscopic observation. Okay. Activity is also there, but let's read it. Take a potted plants with a variegated leaves. For an example, money plant or croton any. So keep the plant in the dark room for the 3 days and the dust starch get used up. So now keep the plant in the sunlight for about 6 hours. Plug the leaf from the plant, mark the green area and trace them on the sheet of the paper. So dip the leaf boiling water and for the few minutes. After this immerse it beaker containing alcohol. So careful, place the our beaker in the water and heat up and the alcohol begins to boil. What happens to the color of leaf? You will have to observe it and also now dip the leaf in the dilute solution and iodine. Few minutes, take out the leaf and rinse the iodine solution. Observe the color of the leaf and compare with the tracing of the leaf in the beginning. And what can you conclude after the presence of stars, various stars of the leaf? So this is the activity you will have to do and you will easily clarify it. Also, now let's study with the plant to contain obtains carbon or dioxide. So firstly, we have previous class we had talked about the stomata, which are the tiny pores. Stomata is actually the tiny pores present on the surface of the leaves. We know it. So massive amount of gaseous exchange takes place in the leaf through these pores, obviously, from the purpose of the photosynthesis. But this important to note here that exchange of gases occurs across the surface of the stem, root, and the leaves as well. Since the large amount of water can also be lost in these stomata, so the plant closes the pores when it does not need a carbon dioxide for a photosynthesis. So the opening and the closing of the pore function is a guard cell, function of the guard cell actually, and the guard cell swell when the water flows into them and causing the stomal pore open. Similarly, the pore closes, the guard cell shrink. So this is the process when it needs or when it not needs the carbon dioxide. So the pores open, the pores close. So we have one leaf structure where this outer cells are the guard cells. This is a particular a pore, and this is the chloroplast, the green cells. So we know that is a chloroplast, and this pores are the stomata pore. So this is for the open image, and this is one is for the closed stomata pore. Now, based on the we have again one activity. So from these activities only we can conclude that we can design the experimental demonstrate that sunlight is essential for the photosynthesis. So far we have talked about how autotrophs meet their energy requirements. So about the plants we have studied, but they also need a raw material for building their body. Water is used in the photosynthesis, taken up the soil by the roots and the terrestrial plant. Other materials like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, magnesium are taken up the soil. Now, nitrogen is an essential element and used in the synthesis of the protein and other compound. This is taken up from the inorganic nitrates and or it is taken up as an organic compound which has been bacteria from the atmospheric nitrogen. So we have studied about the autotrophic things or how they were processing their energy, how they have been structured, what kind of things are needed apart from this energy thing. They need soil, they need water, they need nitrogen. So these kind of elements as well they need. Now let's move ahead with the heterotrophic nutrition. So each organism is adapted to its environment. Okay, the form of a nutrition differs depending on the type of the availability of food material, and as we know how it is obtained by the organism. For example, whether the food source stationary such as grass, mobile such as deer, or would we allow difference in how the food assists and what is the nutritive apparatus used for the cow and lion. So there is a range of strategies by which food is taken and used by the organism. Some organisms break down the food material outside of the body and then absorb it. Examples are fungi like a bread molds, yeast, and the mushroom. Other take whole material and break down inside the bodies. We know how fungi works, and also this fungi works, and what can be done in and broken down depends on the body design and the functioning. Some other organisms derive the nutrition from the plants and animals killing them. So the parasitic nutritive strategy is used. The wide variety of organisms like Cuscuta, Amarbale, we can say, also the ticks, lice, leeches, and the tapeworm, how they work. Okay, they completely damage the system, that particular substance as well, like how the fungi work and how the organisms obtain their nutrition. So, since the food and the way it is obtained differ, the digestive food is a different in the various organisms. In single cell organism, the food may be taken to the entire surface, but for the complexity of the organism increases, different part become the specialized to perform the different function. Okay, when the structure is complex, then different parts will take place here as well. Just for an example, we have a amoeba. Takes place with a temporary finger like an extension. Okay, firstly, like this. After that, cell surface fuse and the food particle forming a food vacuole. Inside the food vacuole, complex substances are broken down into the simpler ones. When then diffuse into the cytoplasm, they are remaining undigested material and move to the surface to the cell and out in the paramecium, then which is also the unicellular organism. And this cell is a definite shape and the food is taken to the specific spot. Food is moved to the spot of the movement of the cilia and which cover the entire surface of the cell like this. So the process will take place. Firstly, nucleus, this food particle, then xerophodia. Okay, see, it's increasing. The size is simply increasing. So this is how the organism obtain the nutrition. Now, nutrition in human beings. So plant we have studied, amoeba we have studied. Now let's treat with the human beings. So the alimentary canal is basically a long extending from the mouth to the anus. Okay, and we can see the tube as a different part, various region. This specialized work on different function. What happens to the food and enters the body, and we shall discuss in the process here. See, this is the complete process. You can see the human structure over here, how like how we are just inhaling the food, what kind of process is happening over here. This has been explained here. Okay, so this pipeline, this outer line, this is esophagus, this is a mouth, buccal cavity, tongue is your diaphragm, gallbladder, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, appendix, or this anus, and the blue duct, liver, and then pancreas. Okay. So, firstly, we eat the various type of food which has passed through the same digestive tract. Okay, they are going to be passed from this tract only. Naturally, the food has to be processed under the particle which are the small, are the simple texture. These are achieved crushing the food with our teeth. Since the lining of the canal is soft, so the food is also wetted to make the passage of the mouth. We eat something, we like our mouth waters, and this actually not only the water but the fluid. This is called saliva. Okay, saliva is kind of fluid we can say. It's secreted by the salivary gland. And another aspect of the food we ingest is the complex nature. It to be observed from the alimentary canal and it has to be broken into the smaller molecule. Whatever we are taking, it will broke into the smaller molecules. This is done with the help of biological catalyst, which is known as enzymes. Also, the saliva contains an enzyme which is salivary amylase. Okay, and that breaks down into the starch and which complex molecule give to the sugar. And the food is mixed through the saliva and moved on while chewing the muscular tongue. Also, it is necessary to move food in the regulated manner along with the digestive tube, and so that it can process the properly of the each part. Okay. The lining of the canal has a muscle and that contract rhythmically in order to push the food, and the peristaltic movement occur along with the gut. Here, how the like this whatever we have just inhaled, it will break down how the saliva is working, how the enzyme is working. Now, the from mouth, the food is taken to the stomach through the pipe. Okay, now here it is, and which or esophagus. food pipe, which is esophagus, and the stomach is a large organ which expands when the body enters the muscular wall of the stomach, mixing with the food through the digestive juice. Now here digestive juice will take place just for the digestion thing. Okay. Now the digestion in the stomach taken place care by the gastric gland and present in the wall of the stomach. Okay. Now these release a hydrochloric acid and the protein digestive enzyme which is called a pepsin and a mucus. And also the hydraulic acid creates an acid medium and which facilitates the action of the enzymes pepsin. And what all functions do you think served by an acid? The mucus protects the inner living of the stomach from the action of the acid and the normal condition. We have often heard adults complaining about the acidity. Can this be related to the wind discussed above? Like whatever we are taking, when this acid and all reacts with it, this causes sometimes the acidity or not. So the exit of the food from the stomach is regulated by the sphincter muscle, and which releases it in the small amount and a small intestine from the stomach. The food now enters into the small intestine and the longest part of the alimentary canal where they fitted in the stomach. This last part here it enters, okay, into the small intestine now. And after that, the length of the small intestine differs in the various animal depending on the food they eat. Herbivores eating the grass and longer intestine do the cellulose digestive and the meat easier to digest. Hence, the carnivores like tigers are a shorter, smaller intestine. It also depends on the size of the intestine. Okay, and the small intestine is the site of the complete digestion and the carbohydrate, protein, and the fat. It receives the secretion of the liver and the pancreas for the purpose. A secretion process will take place in the liver and the pancreas. And the food coming from the stomach acidic has to be made an alkaline and the pancreatic enzymes to it. Bile juice from the liver accomplish in the addition of acting on the fat, and the fat are present in the intestine from the large globules, and which makes the difficult enzymes to act them. While salts break them down into the smaller globules and increasing the efficiency of the enzyme section. This is similar to the emulsifying and action soap on the dirt, and that we have in like I have studied in the chapter 4, action of soap and the detergent and all. So the pancreas secrete the pancreatic juice and which contain the enzymes like trypsin, and digesting the food is the lipase for breaking down the emulsified fat. Okay. So the ball of the intestine contain the gland and which secreted the intestine juice, and the enzyme present is finally converted into the protein and to amino acid, and also complex carbohydrate into the glucose, and a fat into the fatty acid and the glycerol. So digesting food is taken up by the walls in the intestine. The inner living of the small intestine has a numerous finger like a projection called as villi, which increases the surface and the area of absorption. The villi are the vichy supplied with the water vessel which takes and absorbs from the food and every cell of the body where it is utilized in obtaining the energy, building and up the new tissue and repair the old tissue. So unabsorbed food is sent to be the large intestine where it is well absorbed, and water to be the intestinal material, and the rest of the material removed from the body via the anus. And this exit of the waste is regulated by the anal sphincter. So in short, it was a totally the process how we are inhaling the food. Okay, after that some engines will take place. It will just break down into the simpler form. Then it will come to the liver part. It will react with some acid. Fat will go on one side. Then after that again it will react some of the acids, and then the things which are used will be remain there only. And after that the rest of the things will come out from the NS. So this is all about the process of for the human being. Okay, now we have discussed the nutrition in the organism, but the food material taken in the during the process nutrition is used in the cells to provide the energy for the various life process. Okay, diverse organisms do that different ways, and some of the use break down the glucose completely into the carbon dioxide and the water. Some other uses the pathway do not involve the oxygen. In all such cases, first step breakdown of the glucose is a 6 carbon molecule into the 3 carbon molecule, which is known as pyruvate, and the process takes place in the cytoplasm. Further, the pyruvate may be converted into the ethanol and carbon dioxide, and this process takes place in the yeast and the fermentation. Since this process takes place in the absence of oxygen air, it is called anaerobic respiration. Breakdown the pyruvate and of using the oxygen takes place in the mitochondria, and this process breaks up in the 3 carbon pyruvate molecule given the 3 molecules of a carbon dioxide, and the other product in the water. Since the process takes place in the presence of air and the oxygen, it is called as aerobic respiration. Okay, This process is taking a place in the presence of air or the oxygen, so it is aerobic. And the release of the energies in the aerobic process is a lot of greater than the anaerobic process. And sometimes where there is a lack of oxygen in the muscle cell, another pathway from the breakdown and the pyruvate is taken. Here the pyruvate is converted into the lactic acid ion, which is also a 3-column molecules. This build a lactic acid in the muscle during the sudden activity causes. See, firstly the 6 carbon glucose is there, okay, 6 carbon molecule. Then in the presence of cytoplasm, it will convert it into the pyruvate, which is a 3 carbon. After that, in the absence of oxygen in the yeast, ethanol, carbon dioxide, then energy. When there is a lack of oxygen in the muscle cell, it will be lactic acid and energy. And then when the presence of oxygen is there in the mitochondria, the carbon dioxide, water, and energy. So this is the breakdown of glucose by the various pathways. Whatever happens when absence of oxygen, whatever happens when the lack of oxygen, whatever happens when the presence of oxygen. So the energy released during the cellular respiration is immediately synthesized, and which is known as ATP, which is used to fuel other activities in the cell. In this process, ATP is broken down, giving the rise to the fixed energy, which is an endothermic reaction, and that takes place. Okay. More about the ATP is given over there. ATP is the energy currency, or energy currency most of the cellular processes, and the energy is released during the process of respiration is to make the ATP molecule for ADP and phosphate. ADP, then phosphate energy, then ADP that's converted to the ATP. ADP is converted into the ATP. Okay. So in the endothermic process, it will be different. Now, since the aerobic respiration pathways and oxygen, aerobic organisms need to be ensured that there is a sufficient intake of oxygen. We have seen that the plant exchange gases through the stomata, and the large of the intercellular spaces or cells contact in them. Carbon dioxide, oxygen are exchanged in the diffusion here. They can go into the cells and or away from the cells, them out in the air, and the direction of the diffusion depends upon the environmental condition and the requirement of the plant. At night, when there is a no photosynthesis occurring, CO2 elimination will be there, okay, and exchange of the activity going on. During the day, CO2 generated during the respiration, the photosynthesis, and hence the CO2 releases instead of oxygen releases, the major event at this time. So animal have involved in the different organism uptake oxygen from the environment for getting the rid of carbon dioxide produced. That is, still animals can breathe the oxygen in the atmosphere, but animals that live in the water uses the oxygen to dissolve in water. Okay. Now, since the amount of the dissolved oxygen is fairly low compared to the amount of oxygen in the air, so the rate of breathing aquatic animals is much faster than the terrestrial animals. Fishes takes the water through the mouth and force it pass to the gills, and which are dissolved in oxygen take up now by the blood. So the obviously this process will be the different for the aquatic animals. Terrestrial organisms use to oxygen atmosphere for the respiration. The oxygen is absorbed by the different organs and the different animals. And all these organs have a structure that increase the surface area, which is contact in the oxygen-rich atmosphere. Since the exchange of the oxygen and the carbon dioxide has a place of their across the surface, this surface is a very fine and a delicate. In order to protect this surface, it is used to place within the body. So there are a passage which take air area, and in the addition of the mechanism moving to the air. So this was about the terrestrial animals. Now, and for the human being, air is taken the body through the nostril, and they are passing through the nostril filter by the hair and the line passage. The passage is also lined up with the mucus, and which help us in the process. From here, the air passes through the throat and into the lungs. Then rings of the cartilage and present in the throat, and they ensure the air passes, not collapse. So this is how we are inhaling. Human being respiratory system is again here. Nasal passages, mouth cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, rings of cartilage. This system, okay, human respiratory system. Also, within the lung passage divides into the smaller tubes, and this is finally terminate the balloon-like structure, which is known as alveoli. Okay, like see, this is particular balloon-like structure. Okay, and the walls of the alveoli contains the extensive network and the blood cells, as we have seen in the earlier years. When we breathe, okay, this is completely the breathing process. We lift our ribs and the flattened diaphragm, and the chest cavity becomes larger as a result because of this air sucked in the lungs. Okay, and also fill the expand at alveoli. The blood, the blood carbon dioxide from the rest of the body and releases into the alveoli, and then oxygen as alveolar air takes by the blood and alveolar blood vessels transferred to the cells in the body. During the breathing cycle, when the air is taken in and later, the oxygen, the lungs always contain the residual volume of the air, and so that there is a sufficient time of oxygen to be absorbed. This is the inhaling this oxygen and all the processes explained how the lungs is helping, how it is pumping and all. When the body size of the animal is large, the diffusion pressure alone cannot change and care of oxygen delivery all the part of body. Instead of respiratory pigment taken up the oxygen from the air in the lungs carry out the tissue with a deficient in the oxygen before releasing it in the human beings. The respiratory pigment is a hemoglobin and which is a very high affinity for the oxygen. The pigment is present in the red blood corpuscles are the carbon dioxide is more than the soluble than oxygen and then hence mostly transported dissolved in the water, and how the blood is helping it has been explained over there. Now we have seen also in the previous section the blood transport oxygen food blood transport food oxygen and the waste material bodies. Also in the previous class we have learned about the blood and the fluid connective tissue. Blood consists of the fluid mechanism which is known as plasma, in which the cells are suspended. Plasma transport the food carbon dioxide and the nitrous waste, and the dissolved oxygen is carried to the red blood capsule, and many other substances like salt are also transported to the body and the network tissue system in the place of ensure, and this network can be repair it and the damage. Now, as we have studied about the blood and then heart, how it pumps. So the heart is this is like something a very important topic. Our pump or the heart. The heart is a muscular organ which is a big outfit, because both oxygen and the carbon dioxide have been transported by the blood, and the heart has a different chambers. You can see from the diagram this is having a different chamber. Aorta is there, this pulmonary arteries, pulmonary veins is their left atrium, this is the right atrium. It's a vena cava from the lower body, left ventricle, the right ventricle, septum, or it's a dividing wall we can say. So the carbon dioxide rich blood has to be reached the lungs from the carbon dioxide is to be removed. Okay, and oxygenated to the blood from the lungs and has to be brought placed from the heart. The oxygen rich blood is then pumped to the rest of the body here, but when it's get converted, this oxygen rich blood will pumped into the whole body, and we can allow this process step by step. Oxygen rich blood chamber of the heart on the left, and the left atrium, and the left atrium relaxes when it is collecting this blood, and if then contract while chambers of the left ventricle relaxes so that the blood is transferred to it, and when the muscular ventricle contract in it, the blood is pumped out to the body and oxygenated blood comes out from the body to the upper chamber of the right atrium. So it's all about the left, then after right atrium, and which it turns to the pump lungs and oxygenation, and here the oxygenation process will take place. Since the ventricle have a pump blood into the various organs and they have a thicker muscular walls than the atrica too, so the valves ensure the blood does not flow and backwards when there is a ventricles contract. Okay, so this was about the how the heart works and the pumping. Now the oxygen enters the blood in the lungs. How it enters? So the separation of the rigid side of the left side heart is used to the keep oxygenated in the deoxygenated blood from the mixing. So such separation allows the high efficient supply of oxygen to the body, and this is useful animal that have a high energy needs such as birds, mammals, which constantly use energy to maintain their body temperature. In animals, they do not energy use for this purpose. The body temperature depends on the temperature of the environment only. Such animals like at amphibian, reptiles, they have chambered hearts and are tolerated mixing of the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Fishes, on the other hand, have their chambers to the hearts and their body pumped to the gills and is oxygenated with the passes through the rest of the body. Thus, the blood go on the through of heartfish during the one cycle and one of the other hand with the twice in the each cycle. Vertebrate, this is known as double circulation. So, the circulation depends on the like 1 to 1. All have their different kind of this oxygenation process. This is a systematic representation of a transport exchange oxygen carbon dioxide, like from the body to the body artery, this left side, this right side, lung capillaries, pulmonary vein from the lungs, pulmonary artery from the lungs, how they are just responding for the oxygenation process. This has been explained over here. Okay, the blood pressure thing, this is a very common thing. We all know about how we can calculate it, how it works, how we can calculate it from the with the help of that machine. Okay, so this was about the blood pressure. Now the tubes or the blood vessels. So arteries and the vessels which carry the blood away from the heart to various organs of the body. Since the blood emerges from the heart under where the pressure arteries have a thick elastic walls, veins collect from the blood from the different organisms and pack it to the heart, and they do not need a thick balls. The blood is no longer under pressure. So instead they have a valves that ensure the blood flows in only in the one direction. On reaching the organ tissue, the artery divides into the smaller vessels, and during the blood and contact, individual cell and then all one-to-one cell are called capillaries. Exchange of material between the blood and surrounding take place in the thin wall, and the capillaries join together. They form the veins and they convey the blood from the organ to and tissue, means how it is being transferring. Now, maintaining the platelets. What happens when the system of the tube develop the leak? Think about the situation. We are injured and they start bleeding, right? So naturally, the loss of the blood system has to be minimized. In addition of the leakage would be the low loss of pressure, which reduces efficiency and pumping system. To avoid this, the blood platelet cells which circulate around the body and plug these leaks and by helping clot and the blood of the point of injury. Okay, what happens when there is a bleeding and like what all are maintaining, this is all explained in the maintenance by the blood platelets. Now the lymph, there is another type of fluid and also involved in the transportation. This is called lymph or the tissue fluid, through which the pores present in the walls of the capillaries and the some amount of plasma and the protein and the blood cell escape the intercellular space and to form the tissue fluid or the lymph, and it is similar to the plasma of blood but the colorless and contains the less protein, and a lymph drain into the lymphatic capillaries and from the intercellular spaces which joins from the lymph vessels finally open the larger veins. Lymph carries the digested and absorbed fat to be the intestine and brings excess of a extracellular space back to the blood. Now the transportation in the plant, how they are transporting the water, how they are just converting the CO2 into the oxygen, this has been explained over here. So we have discussed earlier how the plant take in the simple compound and CO2 photosynthesis energy stored in the chlorophyll containing the organs. Then the other kind of raw material need building plant bodies which have been taken from the soils and enriches to the raw material nitrogen, phosphorus. So then this already we have covered what kind of the things nitrogen are taking place, the water, the sunlight, then chlorophyll, the pores. Transport of water process has been given there, that it the xylem tissue vessels and the tracheids or of the root system and the leaves are interconnected to form the continuous system when the water conducting the channel reaching all the plant of the roots and conduct with the soil and actively upon the icon. So how this roots are also helping in transportation. See, this is a plant and here these roots are transporting when the water has been there, soil is exerting the water, and then how it work, it goes in the plant to plant the part of the plants. So this is how the plant work. Okay, now the exertion we have studied, but deeply how exertion has in the human being. So we have already discussed about the organism get rid of the gaseous waste and generating the photosynthesis, respiration, and the metabolic activities, which is the biological process involved in the removal of these harmful metabolic waste. So exertion in human being, this exertion take place here. So the excretory system of the human being include the pair of kidneys and the pair of uterus, urinary bladder, and a urethra. So kidney are located in the abdomen. This part is known as abdomen part. Okay, and uterus, urinary bladder, it is said to be the until it is released to the urethra, and here the urine produce the purpose of making the urine filter out the waste product of the blood, just CO2 removed from the blood into the lungs and the nitrous waste and urea acid to remove the fluid from the kidneys, and it is then suppressed to filtration unit of the kidney. So this is how it works. Like the lungs cluster of the very thin walled capillaries, each capillary cluster in the kidney is associated with a cup-shaped end of the coiled tube, which is Bowman's capsule, and that collects the filtrate, and each kidney has a large number of the filtration unit. The filter process only done by the kidney. This is how this exertion process takes place. Now, exertion in plants. So the plant uses a completely different strategy of exertion than those of animals. Oxygen itself throughout the waste product and generated during photosynthesis. We have discussed it earlier. Plant deal with the oxygen as well as CO2, and they can rid of the excess water transportation or the other waste, and also the fact of many tissues consist of dead and the cell. They can even lose some of the such leaves and many plant waste products stored in the cell. Of waste product may be stored in the leaves then fall off. Okay, and other waste products are stored in the rains, gums, especially not in the xylem plant, also exert in the some waste substance into the soil around them. So this is how the plant exert or remove the waste material. So in short, we have studied the living organisms, how it works, the respiratory system, the exertion process, movement of various type of like can be taken indication of life, maintenance of life requires process, and the nutrition, respiration, transport, autotrophic nutrition involves and take the simple organic, how this complex converting into the simple organism. Heterotrophic nutrition involves an intake complex prepared by other organism. Also during the process, the respiration, the organic compounds such as glucose broken, how they are breaking down. Human beings transport material, oxygen, carbon dioxide, excretory system. In highly differential plant, the transport of water animals, and also in human beings, exerty product, the soluble nitrogen and the compound plant are very variety techniques get rid of waste material. Not so. This is what we have covered in this chapter. But still, if you have any doubts or you want a teacher to guide you personally, so you can join our one-to-one live tutoring at Guasna Academy. Will help you to learn every concept with the ease. So thanks for watching. Just stay tuned for the next chapter. Thank you very much.